Coming up on City Spotlight, just 3 episodes left in Season 10 of City Spotlight. And we head back up north to Champaign County for a first-time taping in Champaign. We'll talk with Champaign Mayor Deborah Frank Feinen, who will give us an overview of her hometown of Champaign, the location of Champaign, the many roads that lead to Champaign, public works, economic development, and the impact of the University of Illinois on Champaign. We're on location near the end of Season 10 of City Spotlight, and we're talking for the first time about Champaign here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we are on location for this latest episode. We've traveled up North I-57 and we are taping back in Champaign County. And for the first time here on City Spotlight, we are talking Champaign. And we are taping here at City Hall in downtown Champaign on July 12th, 2024. And to help us out, we welcome first time to the program, the Mayor of Champaign, Deborah Frank Feinen. Deb, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's exciting to be here in this new TV studio-like area you have here in City Hall. I understand you guys have only used it a few times, so thank you for letting us use it for City Spotlight.
Absolutely, it's great.
Excellent, thank you so much. Look forward to learning and getting an overview of Champaign with Deb. And let's first learn about you, Deb. You're a native of Champaign. Tell our audience about yourself, please.
I am a native of Champaign, went away for college and law school and came back. I am married and a mom of 2. I've got a college graduate on her way to grad school and a high school senior. And I have been an elected official in this community for about 30 years. Started on county board. I was vice chair of county board. And then I became an at-large city council member and then eventually mayor.
So coming up on 10 years as mayor, if I read, this is currently your 3rd term as mayor of Champaign.
Correct.
What do you enjoy most about being a leader in this community?
I think for me it's really the people. So I enjoy that I've built these relationships over time. And hopefully I'm approachable. And so, people will stop me at the grocery store or restaurant. They want to talk about our community. And those are the moments that really bring me energy and joy, whether it's a complaint or it's praise. It's still an opportunity to be an ambassador for our community and also to maybe help solve a problem that a resident is facing. So I really, really like that.
Thank you very much. I want to ask you one follow-up here because we've had a handful of mayors here on this program that are from the community they are mayor of. Some people, they come from other communities and they become mayor. So what's that like to be mayor of your hometown?
It's pretty fun. After I first got elected as mayor, I won't tell you which high school reunion, but we had a high school reunion pretty soon after, maybe a year or 2 after. Mm-hmm. And I was able to do a proclamation in honor of that reunion. And it was just, it's a pretty exciting thing to be. We're a changing community. We have a lot of new residents because of the nature of the university town, but there are a lot of townies. And to see the kids that I grew up with now as adults who have kids or to knock on doors and talk to their parents it's really fun.
Appreciate that backstory of being mayor of your hometown. Okay, let's learn about your hometown of Champaign, Illinois. Let's do what we do here on first-time episodes of New Communities. Let's talk about the location. And Champaign is located in central Illinois, Champaign County, the most populated community in Champaign County, and the most populated community that we have featured here on City Spotlight. Many roads make Champaign very accessible. You have 3 interstates with many interchanges, I-57, 72, 74, also U.S. routes 150 and 45, some Illinois routes. It's pretty easy to say that Champaign is accessible via many roads. Talk about the location of Champaign.
We're gonna, put you on our economic development team. You know it all. No, it really. I think the location is important because it gets us out of kind of the Chicago metro, right? And so we do have a very different feel. You don't have to drive very far, and you're in cornfields. I mean, Champaign County is still primarily an ag county, and we are the big city in the middle of that ag county. But our location does work for economic development. It also works for tourism travel because every highway kind of runs through here, and so people are able to stop. We do have an Amtrak line as well, which is really helpful. And bus access. So, we feel like we're really lucky, but probably the biggest location thing that for us is, our economic driver is the University of Illinois. And so being with Urbana, the home of the University of Illinois, is, the biggest piece of our location.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about the U of I a little bit here in just a second. Champaign also accessible by nearby Willard Airport as well. So
yes.
They have the airport as well. Want to backtrack just a little bit to the interstate system because as people know that have traveled through the Champaign area over the last year plus, notice some construction there with I-74. How has that impacted Champaign in any way, and is there any timeline of completion that you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, it's a state project.
Right.
We are actually, although it has caused some disruption, mostly the highway has remained open and exits have remained open.
Right.
And for us, it's probably 20 plus years that we have requested that be done. What's really happening is that interchange was one of about 3 in the state that were the most unsafe. It was really about the angles, and so trucks were tipping over, and it just wasn't working well. And it actually was causing more problems than the construction because it was an unsafe interchange. And so we're really delighted that not only is it being done for the safety, and it'll, you've seen the flyovers, it's going to be amazing for travelers, but it's also putting a ton of people to work in our community, and they are using Parkland College has a workforce development group, and they are partnering on this project as well. And so we have Parkland students that are getting really great training as part of all of this. So it's been a fantastic project.
Very noticeable for sure when you travel the freeways up and down central Illinois. Champaign has grown steadily over the last several decades, approaching 90,000 residents, one of the 10 largest cities in Illinois. I can remember traveling in the car with my parents up to Champaign from Charleston in the 80s and 90s, and it was about 60,000. It's a steady increase of population. People obviously want to live and work in Champaign.
Yes, and we're excited that that's true. I mean, again, the university is a huge driver of that, but I really do believe the community that we are attracts people as well. And so, you might not want to live in that Chicago metro area, but you still want, sports, and you might want the events that we have at the Cranert Center for Performing Arts. And, there are a lot of things about this community where we are small, but we're mighty. And so, we also have, and we joke about it, but, you can get anywhere in 10 minutes. So, if you have kids and you're at work and you've got to go to the science fair or whatever, or, run them their lunch that they forgot at home, you can get that done, and you can still work a full day. You're not commuting on a train. It's very bikeable. And so I just think that we have found a really great niche where we are attracting, a great population. I think we're the only growing city in downstate Illinois, so we're pretty proud of it.
Thank you for that little nugget there on Yeah, only one of that. So very neat there. Before we talk about economic development, very important to talk about infrastructure, public works, the things that the guts of the community. There could be many things that you want to talk about, but are there any public works things, inner city roads, water, sewer, things that have been worked on recently or will be that stand out to you that you'd like to share with us?
So our largest project that we are in the middle of is our Garden Hills Drainage Project. And so that was a neighborhood that got annexed into the city that wasn't built to city standards. And it has been a long time coming for those residents. But, we are working on a drainage infrastructure there so that their streets no longer flood. But along with that are coming streetlights and sidewalks. And we are going to have a park as well. And so the drainage basin becomes an amenity for the neighborhood, not just utilitarian drainage. And so we're really excited about that. That project is well underway. Streetlights went out last summer, last fall. So it's, we're really getting to where we need to in that neighborhood.
Fantastic. We'll have video of the various things that we're talking about here with Deb, so it's not just two talking heads here. Later today, we're taping here on July 12th, 2024. Later this afternoon, you have a groundbreaking to attend to, something very exciting for the future of Champaign, downtown Champaign, just right here by City Hall. You have a groundbreaking for phase 1 of the new downtown plaza. Tell us about this exciting project.
It's really exciting. That's another one, once you've been in government as long as I have, you see these long pathways to get what you want. But, we first incorporated years ago into the downtown plan the possibility of the plaza. And then council has incrementally taken steps for planning for the plaza and some engineering for the plaza and really setting the stage, hoping that eventually we would be able to either fund portions of it, and we had phases set forth. We got about $500,000 recently that will allow us to do the rest of the engineering and planning piece. And then we received $12 million through the late Senator Scott Bennett was really instrumental in that. And then our current Senator Faraci was able to help keep that going. And so we received that money, and that's going to allow the plaza build out. And, it really, again, we talk about amenities as well as projects, right? And so it will be a focal point for downtown. It's going to include a stage. We have talked over the years about perhaps kiosks that would be available so that small vendors could kind of come and see if what they have will work, and low cost, low entry barriers for new businesses. And just providing a space for community gathering. You see a lot of information now with planning where that talks about third spaces, and it's really community spaces that become your community living room, right? Where people can gather and hang out and enjoy themselves. And we'll probably talk about our other place downtown that's doing that this summer, but we're excited to have that permanent space with the plaza.
It's a 2-phase project that will be worked on over the next 2 years, so we look forward to following up on that in future episodes. Very good there. All right, let's dive into economic development. And I know this is only about a 24, 25-minute interview, and we could have talked 24 or 25 minutes on all the economic development in Champaign, and we'll have you list maybe a few of the larger ones in a second. But how would you describe Champaign's overall economic climate here as we tape here in the middle of 2024?
So we take a lot of pride at the city of Champaign about being business friendly. So we are hopeful that when you approach us with your new idea, that we have resources to help you get started and sort of figure things out. So whether you're an existing business that's coming to us because of growth, or you are a brand new business out of the block, we have options for you. We just had a study session on our economic development manual, and and it includes dollars for new businesses that meet certain criteria where you can get grants that help with startup costs. Think, your legal or your marketing or accounting, those kinds of things. We also have grants available for, sort of storefront renovation and that next phase business that's looking. We've been in business for a couple of years and now we need that bump for growth. But we also have some pretty large heavy hitters in our community that we work with, and they're part of maybe enterprise zones or other larger economic development projects that we have available.
Okay. Thank you for that statement there. Now let's talk about some of maybe the larger ones, and if I could exclude the University of Illinois for just a second here. Who are some of your other larger employers in the city of Champaign?
So we do have.
And we're not trying to leave anyone out. Just give us a few.
We're a government employer town. So University of Illinois and actually our school district are some of our larger employers. But as far as private, our hospital. Both of them are large employers, so we do have a huge medical community. And I know you said leave University of Illinois out, but because of the medical school there and the partnership between the medical school and the engineering school, the hope is that there will be spin-off businesses relating to medical technology, and so that's part of what we do here. Our research park, again, university related.
Yeah, you have a couple.
But the research park at the University of Illinois, if all of those individual businesses were combined into one business, they would be our third largest employer in the city. So you can't underestimate what is happening there. And we have some large ag tech companies that are there. We also have, things like State Farm.
Yes.
So they are doing cutting edge research in our community, and they are employing professors and students to do that work, and then that leads to growth, either spin-offs or to growth in their home communities as they take that research back. So we're really proud of that. But we're getting known for ag tech. We just received about $51 million for the IFAB lab at the University of Illinois, which is really bioengineering tech. And that is a partnership that will include ADM and Decatur as well. So it's going to be regional growth. And we have Gill Athletics. So if you are a pole vaulter, you know all about them, and they are internationally known. On the smaller scale, we have an organ company that does the pipes for organs. That again is internationally known. There aren't very many in the world, and they're being made here right in our downtown. And so, we have some really unique, amazing businesses here.
You mentioned the research park. You also have an industrial park there on the northwest part of Champaign. Many restaurants in the Champaign area. I want to focus briefly just on South Neal Street because it's something I noticed. I did live and work in Champaign in 02 to 07. South Neal Street there, when you get north of Windsor Avenue there, lots of new restaurants and businesses in that area in the recent years that I've traveled through Champaign. So has there been a focus on that part of Champaign in recent years?
That area has sort of grown organically. I would say that the traffic patterns around there have really allowed that to happen. But the sort of Harvest Market area, which is in that South Neal Street area that you're talking about, that was a car dealership, probably, what you remember.
I think it might have been a Ford dealership there?
Well, there were multiple. You sort of drove in. I I had post prom at one of the. They would pull all the cars out of the big showroom, and then they would have the dances.
People that are watching
there.
this that are from
really
the Champaign
old.
area, where we're really dating through the
Yeah.
years, but it's interesting where things were and where they are now.
Yeah. So that area was cleared for redevelopment, and that really spurred a lot of development. And we did have some economic development incentives that were tied into that area, but probably the anchor with that is our Harvest Market. And what I love about Harvest Market is that although they're not local to us, they are local to Central Illinois. They are a Neiman Foods brand, and they have been an amazing community partner with hiring and with reaching out to us. We have been able to work with them a lot, and I just really appreciate, although we get the calls for Trader Joe's and Whole Foods all the time, people are like, why don't we have them? We have this local branded entity instead that provides all those same amenities, and we're really glad to have them.
Fantastic. All right, I think I timed it just perfectly. We have 4 or 5 minutes left, and now we're going to talk about the University of Illinois.
Okay.
So as we talked about in our first tapings in Urbana, the University of Illinois is a major attractor to people that come to the CU area, whether it be for academic purposes or the many Fighting Illini athletic events. You have Memorial Stadium, State Farm Center that are venues not just for sporting events, they hold concerts and events. So Deb, the U of I's impact on Champaign is what?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, it is our economic driver. And so the health of the university is incredibly important to us. But I think the more interesting thing for all of us is really the partnerships that have developed. So, we had pretty good relationships with them prior to COVID. But I would say that COVID really drew all of us together. And it was the university, it was Champaign-Urbana, the public health district, the county. But, we all are in regular communication with each other. It really reinforced the idea that we are all part of the same community. If Champaign is not healthy, the university can't attract professors and students. And if the university isn't healthy, Champaign can't pay its bills because, they really help to drive our economy. And so, we regularly meet with each other. We all work hard together on economic development related issues where, we are part of a group called Champaign County First that goes together to lobby at the state level and at the federal level. And the university is really a great community partner and sees us as part of the asset that they're selling when they are selling the University of Illinois.
Fantastic. I actually had to leave out one of the questions because we just have a couple minutes left, but I want to get one final question in here. Thank you, Deb, for this first time taping in Champaign. Something else that's on the horizon for Champaign that you want to let our viewers know about here as we tape again in the summer of 2024?
Well, the big thing is that we have downtown music going all summer long into October. So Friday Night Live, which most people are familiar with, which, goes until about 9 o'clock on Friday nights, which bands on street corners throughout our downtown, then leads into our new Market Street Entertainment District, which, Poor Brothers, which is one of our businesses right at the edge there, they have a band from about, I think, 9 to 10, or maybe it's 10 to 11, and then our late night from 11 to 1 goes. And so it's been really fun this summer. We've had over 1,000 wristbands given out in our Market Street area. And, Friday Night Live is way more than 1,000 people because they're spread out throughout our downtown. And so we really encourage you. There's a Toast to Taylor Street. We've got a street fest that's upcoming in August. We actually have a concert in the park that's sponsored by WILL and PBS that is happening this weekend at Hessel Park with the Park District.
Right.
And so, we just have a lot going on, and we would encourage you to look at that community calendar and seek us out. We've got
some of those are going to be listed here in just a minute.
Yeah, and we've got great hotels for you to stay in if you're coming in from out of town. I'll also give a plug for Experience CU, which is our Convention and Visitors Bureau. If you go to their website, you'll find lots of great information about what's available.
We've just scratched the surface on Champaign. We've been talking with Deborah Frank Feinen, Mayor of Champaign, Illinois, for her first time here on City Spotlight. Deb, thank you so much for the time. We look forward to learning and following up on the new downtown plaza and so many other things that we did and didn't talk about here. Thank you again for taping with us, talking Champaign.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And that'll do it for our latest City Spotlight episode, as we've been on location talking and taping in Champaign. As we wrap up this episode, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Champaign. Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central and Southeastern Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.